Joy Reid says F-bomb about Biden. All right, here it is.
Congressional Republicans love to latch on to President Biden and Democrats' successful policies and take credit for things they didn't do, while tying themselves into pretzels to do nothing for the American people for the sake of Donald Trump. Case in point, fixing what they say is a crisis at the border, with congressional negotiators continuing work on a bipartisan deal to tie border policy changes to funding for Ukraine. Over the weekend, President Biden said he's ready to take action if Congress is serious about solving the border issue.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly. And Congress needs to get it done.
Starting another war. Still trying to kill the deal. He bragged about blocking progress and said, please blame him if it fails.
Okay. She says starting another effing war. Now, typically in broadcast media, MSNBC, CNN, etc. When the clip is playing, the microphones are silent. Not at TYT though, so I already know what not to do. But on MSNBC and on CNN and other shows, they literally will tell you, they'll count you back in. Not sure if that happened or not because we cannot hear what's in her microphone, what's in her headphone. But we do know that she dropped the F-bomb, she came back, didn't realize that it happened naturally at the end of the broadcast. She gave an apology, here it is.
Before we go, I just want to apologize very quickly. I was chatting during a clip that was playing, and we try to keep this show very PG-13, so I just want to apologize to anyone who was listening to my behind-the-scenes chatter. Deeply apologize for that, because it's PG-13 up around here. So thank you to you all for watching the ReidOut.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. So MSNBC's Joy Reid apologized on Monday for the hot mic F-bomb moment during a broadcast of the ReidOut. So during a segment on how Republicans are responding to proposed border legislation in light of how Donald Trump recently came out against it, Reid introduced a relevant clip to President Joe Biden speaking at South Carolina over the weekend. And Biden says, if that bill were the law today, I shut down the border right now and fix it quickly. Congress needs to get it done, Biden said, referring to the deal that Senator James Lankford, Republican, has been negotiating with Democrats. Reid can then be heard saying with a laugh, starting another effing war. Yes. Her mic was then cut, but turned on a moment later. It was unclear what the MSNBC anchor was referring to. She continued on, still trying to kill the deal, she said, referring to Trump. She bragged about blocking progress and said, please blame him if it fails. Trump told a Las Vegas crowd Saturday that he indeed wants to be responsible should the legislation fall apart. Yesterday, I talked about how the Oklahoma governor is sending National Guard troops, or threatening to do so. He did it in 2023, sent 50 of them to Texas in order to do what? To basically have a standoff with federal agents. Texas authorities are literally putting up razor fencing, and the Biden administration, the Biden administration has the command to ICE to take it down. It's hurting people, all right? It's a humanitarian issue. So you have this standoff. This is your prerequisite to a possible force-on-force combat between two governmental entities that have guns. All right, Sharon, I was cool with it. I was 100% okay with it. I thought she wasn't gonna have to apologize for it. It happens.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Passionate host, Joe Scarborough, also of the network, has done it several times. 2008, he said the word. And then just when he brought to his attention, he just said, oh, apologies if I offended somebody and said the whole word instead of the letter. He did it again in 2021. I don't see this as a big deal. I know that people expect a certain code when they're watching even cable, but look at the world we live in. If you're okay with watching someone rail on TV, unhinged and getting everything wrong and hurting everyone, then look, this is where we're at. Remember the outrage over Kim Kardashian's butt when it was oiled? Okay, we've seen everything, okay? I'm sorry, but we can handle it.
We're living in a nation that made a man president after he said, I like to go up to women and grab them by, right, okay.